Happy Monday, everyone! Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. All right, we are starting a new embroidery tonight. We are starting the raccoon embroidery. We are on letter R of the ABC Stitch Along. So this is what we're going to be working on this week. So tonight we'll transfer the design and start stitching. All right, let's do it. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining. Happy to be back here after the weekend. Nice to see everyone popping in. All right, let's open up the pattern here. Okay, so last week we finished up the quail, and here's how he turned out. If you guys missed it on Friday, we actually we drew out and stitched our little baby quail, and we even gave him like a turkey work hair there. Turns out I looked up how to do quails beforehand, or what baby quails look like, and they have like a teeny little fuzzy mohawk like before they get their plume or their little top knot there. So we finished that guy up. So that was last week. And now we're going to start on this feller. Hold on a sec here. All right, I can see your comments now on Facebook. Okay, cute. All right, so let's see. So here's the raccoon. This guy will be starting tonight. We're already on R, which is crazy. We're pretty far with this. It'll still be time, though, because we only do it for 2 weeks of the month. So 2 letters of the month is what we do here. So I don't think we're still not going to be done with this till like early summer of 2023, I think. Late spring, early summer 2023 by the time we're done with this whole quilt. So there's time to get going on it yet. All right, so I'm going to use the iron-on transfer that comes with the pattern. I'm going to snip away that Iron Me text. Okay, now that guy's ready to transfer. I got my iron on. I have a paper towel and my pressing mat. So the paper towel is just there to protect the mat from the iron-on transfer going through the fabric all the way to the mat in my case. If you're using an ironing board, you'll want to put this onto like a paper towel just to protect your ironing board. And all right, step 1 is let's preheat our fabric just a bit. We're basically just warming it up. That helps it accept the iron-on easier and also faster. I'm just using high setting on my for the cotton fabric here. All right, let's flip it over. So it's in reverse for the iron-on so that when we flip it over, it won't be in reverse anymore. And I'm centering it on there. Just roughly. I do have a lot of extra edge, so if I don't get it like perfectly centered, it's not gonna be the end of the world. And let's put on the R here. So we wanna hold it about 5 seconds or so. I don't want to wiggle too much. Let's see if that R transferred. I think I wasn't really on there very long. Nah, let's go back down there, get the R. And I think we're good on top, though. There we go. All right, wonderful. So I can use this a few more times. I always save these iron-on transfers because you can use this like 4 or 5 times. So we'll keep that to the side. And now we're ready to get stitching. So thanks for everyone popping in today. This is our ABC Quilt Along project. We work on a new letter the first and second weeks of the month. So this is week 2 of October. So we are starting on the R, and we're going in order. So we're already to the R. But again, we're going to be working on this like through spring for sure. Zoop. Okay, let's tighten that up. And we're having our live special again. So spend $20 or more over at penguinandfish.com. Link is in the description or the profile, and I will add a mystery gift to your order. You guys, I saw the cutest, bestest, sweetest little baby nephew this weekend. We visited my brother and sister-in-law down in Kansas City, and got to see my new baby nephew. He was like 10 days old. So that was real nice. That was nice. And now I'm sad because I'm never going to see him that little anymore. But he was cute. And it was a nice little trip. All right, I am just looking, we're going through our colors here. I've been trying to use up, let's get that guy ready. I've been trying to use up the colors from one package of my embroidery floss, and we've been kind of going through the letters. So some of them we've run out of. We got some blank bobbins here, and these are all looking pretty slim because we have used a lot. We are on letter R. I do want to use the black. We might actually use this up, so I may need to get a new skein of black. I got some other skeins on deck here. Some of these we ran out of, some of them not quite yet. So here's that blue, but I'm looking, and I kind of have a lot of this gray yet. So I'm kind of wondering, what about the other gray? Oh, I don't have quite as much. So I'm kind of thinking we just do like a gray and black raccoon, like a normal everyday raccoon. And then I was thinking maybe we could add like a bright flower to his hair or something like that. Or maybe like a bright, fun, colorful nose and claws or something. So, but because I have a lot of those colors, I am kind of thinking, well, why don't we like this gray, since we're low on all the other colors, let's maybe go with this gray. And I actually do have like a lot of that brown yet that we could use for the nose and everything, but I don't know. We'll see. For now, I think these two, we'll see where it goes from there. Let's get this guy on. He's my little needle minder. Hey, Cassie. I did get to hold him, and it was nice. Go hold a little baby. And he barely cried, and he just like slept a bunch. And when he was awake, it was just so cute. Like he, it was as if he was practicing like facial expressions and stuff. Like he would just make every single face you can, like every single expression you can come up with, he would just do that like one after each other. So it was really kind of funny, funny to watch. All right, let's grab a big piece of black here. His tail could be a rainbow. That's a good point. I'm just almost out of colors. What if we spread it out between rows? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Wait. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. There's actually enough for the full rainbow, so that'd be kind of cool. Kind of like that idea. All right, we might have to do that. I don't know if I'll do the satin stitch right away. I think I want to try and get a bunch of this back stitch done, even though that the back stitch goes next to the satin stitch. Usually I like to do the satin stitch first, but in this case I might just still do the back stitch anyway. Just do the back stitch. So I'm going to start actually with his little mask and probably his little nose face here. The mask in this is going to be the chain stitch, so I just thought that'd be kind of fun to start off with today. Keep going with the chain stitch, then do back stitch for the rest of it. Then maybe tomorrow, or we'll see how far we get with that. Because we'll have a little satin stitch nose to do, and some other color changes, like his little hairs are a different color back there. All right, I'm gonna just pull my 3 strands. Oh, Sheila says, hope you do another hand quilted block. I'd like to do another one. I guess we're kind of running out, so I should like pick one soon, huh? Running out of animals here. Maybe a design that will work with all the letters. Oh, since you'll be hand quilting all the blocks. The circles, like just doing circles like what we did for the giraffe, that would definitely be something that would work for all of the blocks. The trick is with quilting in general, is that we have these embroidered blocks, right? So you could actually ignore the embroidery altogether and just go over the embroidery with your quilting, but I haven't really been doing that so far. And I kind of like where we kind of avoid him. So I don't know, you could add with hand quilting. One thing is you could go around the animal, then you know for sure that there was enough stitches to hold everything in place around the animal. But then I think just like those circles that we did on the giraffe were nice. I don't know, like, because we're not going over the animal itself, an all-over pattern, there really isn't probably a good one for that because there's not actually much space for that. So, I mean, like, even diagonal lines would be cute, but I really do like what we did for the giraffe with just those different circles. That didn't feel like it took very long for us to stitch either, so I kind of like that. Okay, I think I'm going to start with an away knot here. That's, you know how I've kind of been starting with like leaving a little piece dangling off. I don't want to do that with a chain stitch here, so I think we'll just start with an away knot, which is basically the same thing. I'm just going to kind of go from the front though, and about like 4 inches away from where I really want to start, and then we're going to go at the starting point here. So this is basically reserving this amount of thread that I can weave in the ends later instead of tying a knot. So, all right. Ooh, we should do a reverse chain stitch maybe. We'll do I'll do a forward chain stitch on this eye maybe, and then a reverse chain stitch on the other eye. I do like doing a reverse one. I think it's easier actually. Than this like more traditional one. So I'm leaving that loop and coming up in the loop. And I do actually think this is kind of easier using the sewing method where you go in and out in the same motion. And I think I'm actually going to do that. So I'm going to make my fabric a little more loose in here. It just makes the sewing method a bit easier. I just got to make sure to not pull too tightly because my fabric's loose. And if I pull tightly, then I'll get a little cinches and buckles and whatever. So I still kind of like to keep that loop. I'm just going in and out in the same motion. This will go faster too. And this thumb is just kind of pushing it down so I can get that loop going. Oh yeah, so that's how I start. If that's what you're talking about, Cassie, that's how I start when I don't have any other stitches to weave into the backs of. Because usually I like weaving into the backs of stitches that are already on my piece, and then I start stitching wherever I'm at, as a way to not have knots on the back. Just because, again, I don't like when my thread accidentally catches on it, and I don't like when I don't like when this fuzzle end pulls through to the front, and that always seems to happen when I'm using a knot. So I've gotten to the habit of not using knots, and this away knot is a type of waist knot, which means it's not going to be there forever. And it's basically reserving a little piece of thread that I can weave in later. Once I do have stitches to weave into the backs of, which I will right when I'm done with this, and I don't think I have nearly enough floss for this many chain stitches, so we're probably gonna get more floss right in the middle of this, which is always a bummer. Okay, I'm coming up to a corner though here, like a point. Chain stitch does not go around tight places like this well. So what you'll want to do if you come to a corner like that, I got one more stitch before I'm there, but you'll want to add an anchor point, kind of like how you would at an end of a row. So here, I'm gonna go to the end here. Because if I don't do that, like let's say I just turn and I start my next stitch, this stitch is gonna wanna travel down the thread a little bit, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So to avoid that little like traveling, I am going to, at this point, I'm gonna tack it down. So I'm putting that tiny little anchor stitch just on the other side of that loop. So now that loop is like held down there like permanently sort of thing. So now I'm gonna come back up in the loop, not in the same hole because it'll just pull out the stitch, but back up in the loop. There we go. And now I can go the rest of the way and that's not gonna move. Like my stitch isn't gonna slide down the thread anymore. So that's what you do at the corners with chain stitches. We should definitely do another hand quilted one though. We could try something else than the circles. But the more I think about it, the more I think those circles were so easy to do. You can just get different shaped, lids and trace them on, and they were easy to stitch, and it went pretty quickly, and it was enjoyable. So, all good things. The only other thing I could see that I would have maybe done to that giraffe is outlined the giraffe. But I think there was enough stitches on there that, I didn't need any more to like hold it down so it wouldn't like move. And batting these days, I don't think you need quite as many stitches as old batting used to be. Like, I think you used to have to or depending on the batting, you used to have your stitches like 2 inches apart. Now you can go like up to 5 to 8 inches in some of these battings without the batting shifting over time. All right, I am definitely not going to make it to the end here, which is annoying. I think this might actually, we can probably get 2 more. I don't know, where are we at for weaving in? I think I can get 1 more before I have to weave in the end, but we ain't getting more than that, that's for sure. Okay, so if you don't have enough to finish your row, all you do is add another little anchor stitch. So I'm basically tacking that loop down. I can't believe, like just 2 more stitches and we would have been good. So maybe if we would have started with a knot, I would have had all this thread, but oh well, that's okay. So I'm gonna weave in that end. And I'll take care of our thread from the beginning now that we have stitches to weave into. And we'll grab our other piece of black and finish up this eye. And you won't even be able to tell that we started and stopped our thread. Okay, let's just, ooh, geez, I'm getting attacked by the magnet. Let's just snip that knot off, that's garbage, and that released our extra piece of thread. And now we can tuck that in as well. And just enough to get a 3rd pass in here. There we are. Okay. It was a cute little baby. So little. But when he was awake, he just wanted to see everything and take it all in, and just kept trying to stay awake, this little baby. And his dang eyelids just kept being too heavy. So he kept falling asleep again. And one eyelid was a little less heavy than the other, so he'd sometimes just have one eye just barely open, trying to stay awake. But all right, I'm gonna weave in the end, and we'll start right where we left off here. I might just jump to his just make this little leap. Normally I probably wouldn't do that, but it's just such a little leap that I don't know, who cares? Especially now that I have this nice new piece of long thread. Oh yeah, Lisa says you could overlap a couple of circles on the quilting design. Yeah, that's true too. So that's actually would be like a fun thing about doing circles, is you could just do variations on circles. Should have maybe got his eye while I'm here. Maybe I will. I'm gonna just jump up to that eye. Jumping around a lot more than I normally would, so we might be able to actually see a little bit of teeny bit of black thread from behind, like just an itty bitty bit, but like, I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not like going directly across his eyes, so I don't think the amount that I'm doing, I don't think you'll see. I'm gonna do my hexagon shape, like doing hexagons for these circles. Oh, actually, I think I'm doing an octagon at this point. I guess we're doing an octagon. Because I left space at the bottom to do a flat one, but then I accidentally did flat on the side too. So we're doing an octagon. These are a little bit bigger circles than some of the other eyes, than a lot of the other eyes though. So fine. This feller's getting an octagon eye. Oh, I don't know if he liked the little bear, and yeah, we made that little bear for him. It got put in his crib, so he's not quite big enough for that crib yet. He is like a mini crib, like a mini crib, like bassinet thing right now that they can have like in their room. But he'll be moving to the big crib, and that's where all the little toys are for now. I think it turned out so cute though. That little bear that we did, we crocheted. We had that crochet bear that I had made a while back, and we crocheted the letter L for Lincoln on it. Lincoln is his name. All right, I'm gonna jump back down here. All right, and now we'll pick up that chain stitch again. I'm just gonna come up like where we did our anchor point, but I'm gonna come up in that last loop, and then I'm gonna just start stitching again, and it will cover up that anchor point. So no one will know that or that anchor stitch, no one will know that was there. I think we can do this in one more. And here I think I'm gonna go underneath. I like kind of doing this at the end. I like connecting it to the first stitch, so I'm going underneath that stitch and back. I am gonna add an anchor point to this because again, it's like at a point, so it's gonna want to slip down that other stitch unless I add an anchor stitch there. It already wants to do that. So we're grabbing all the threads. There we go, and add our little anchor stitch just on the other side. There we go. So there, his one little mask is done. And I think I'm going to just like travel back here and jump down to this part of his little face. His nose is black here still. And then like this guy's sand stitched in. So we'll skip his nose and we'll come back and I do back stitches just to here. And then the rest of this is chain stitch again. And I think I'm gonna have to get more thread for that. Was Lincoln named after someone in particular, or was that name just chosen just for him? It was chosen just for him. Oh, I almost started doing chain stitches here, but we're just doing back stitch here. It was between a couple, but they liked the meaning of Lincoln a little bit more, and I don't know, he must just look like a Lincoln more. It was between like 3 names. And I think they chose once they saw him. I think they were still kind of deciding while they're in the hospital and stuff. I just called him the little baby. He was cute. I think my parents are probably there right now. They're gonna get there later tonight. Yeah, it's Monday. I'm gonna do a forward stitch here, just because then I'll be jumping across that nose. Yeah, so they'll get to see him. I think they're staying the week, or a little bit of the week. All right, we just got maybe 2 little stitches here, and then back to the chain stitch for the rest of the eye, and I am not going to have enough thread to get very far at all. Oh, but we could try a reverse chain stitch, and this is actually a good spot to do it because I have a little back stitch in there, so I don't even have to make like a little anchor stitch. So normally to start a reverse chain stitch, which looks exactly like a normal chain stitch, it's just backwards, so like the stitches will be backwards, but you wouldn't even know, because you know a person wouldn't know like what side you started on, so no one would know like if you did a reverse chain stitch or a forward chain stitch. So normally you would start with a tiny anchor stitch, so you're doing everything backwards. So you know how we ended in a tiny anchor stitch? You'd actually start with a tiny anchor stitch. I'm going to just pretend that this back stitch I just did is my tiny anchor stitch. So let's just pretend I made a tiny stitch there already. Then all you do is you come up a stitch length away and you slide the needle underneath that tiny anchor stitch. So that'll just be an itty bitty stitch. Come out the other side, and then you go back in the same hole that you came up on. Ooh, I'm getting caught in puzzles. And then you pull all the way through. And there's your first loop. That's your first like loop of a chain stitch there. So that's the first stitch. We're gonna come up another stitch length away, about 1/8 of an inch or so, and I'm gonna swoop under. I'm not even going to the back of the fabric. I'm just swooping under both the entirety of the previous stitch, and then going back into that same hole. There we go. And coming up again, swooping under that last stitch, and back in. And I love this reverse chain stitch because you don't have to like do that loop to try and, you know, pull up the thread in the middle of it. You just swoop it under. It's a little extra step because, you know, this swooping under is almost like having to make another, you know, it's like another motion, but it's far more relaxing. It's far less stressful, I think. I really like doing it this way. Yep, I think the middle name that they chose was a family name, but nope. Lincoln was on their list of 3. Oh, Amy says, I love the reverse chain stitch. Yeah, it really, really is great. And I should just have it. It should be my primary one that I go to. I usually try and like show the like normal chain stitch first because that's just I think what will be out there more often. Um, but I do like to show how to do this right after because this is actually much easier. Um, I think, especially for beginners. So now when I'm at the end of this row, I'm all I have to do, like at the end of a row, is just end, like just stop. We're done already. We don't have to do like an anchor stitch because we kind of had that at the beginning. Although to do the rest of this, I'm gonna have to start with a little anchor stitch because again, I don't want my stitch to slide down this stitch. Oh, Arlene says I like that it goes in the opposite direction as it should. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. So like if you're doing like if you're going up and down with your stitches, like I don't know, if you're knitting if you're making like a sweater looking thing or something, and you want all the stitches to go the same direction, what's kind of cool is that you could do the forward stitch going this way, but you could come do a reverse stitch on the way back, and both stitches would be in the same direction, which I don't know, this is kind of cool, I think. All right, so here is where I need to make a little anchor stitch, and it's gonna be a little tricky because I have let's maybe do it underneath because you know, my thread has gone in there. Oh, you know what? Here's a trick. If you're afraid, ooh, I'm caught. I'm sewing through through other fabric here. If you're nervous, like I am right now, about having to come up in a stitch where I'm just gonna like pull out the last piece of thread because I'm coming up basically in the same hole. Here's a trick for that. So whenever you need to make a turn like this happens in other stitches too, but you need to like come up basically in the same hole. What you can do is go to the back and go to the last stitch. It's kind of hard to see because it's in black here, but yeah, here's the last stitch. And I'm going to just go around that stitch. And now I can go back through that hole and it's not going to pull out because I went around that last stitch. So now let's come up in that exact same hole since now I can. There we go. See? Not going to pull out, and I'm going to make my tiny anchor stitch. So this is what I would have done at the beginning if I didn't already have that back stitch, but so I'm starting like a new row of reverse chain stitches. It's a little tricky to begin with, but again, we're basically just starting from the end. We're starting with our anchor stitch. So there's my anchor stitch, just a tiny stitch, and then I'm going to come up my stitch length away, and we're going to get our needle underneath that anchor stitch. There we are. And now we continue on our way. And I'm going to be so close. So close, but I still don't think I'm going to have enough floss. Ooh, I might. Ooh, this might be enough. This eye is smaller, so we got more bang for our buck with that last piece of thread. I think we get a couple. Ooh, a little fuzzle in the middle there. Ugh, yeah, this reverse chain is so much nicer to do. So I think I'm gonna try and get 3 more out of here. We totally have enough floss, except for I'm gonna pull it off the needle. There we go. And again, I don't have to end with an anchor stitch or anything. I'm just gonna go around my last stitch and go back in the same hole that I came out of. That's it. There we are. Chain stitch is done. I don't think there is any more in this piece. No, so that's it. Although I'm kind of tempted to do chain stitches instead of satin stitch for these. I don't like that idea. Just go with the chain stitch some more. Kind of more fun to do. I like the chain stitch. It's a favorite. Oh shoot, I got an eye in there to do. Ugh, do I have enough floss for that? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of don't think so. I think I don't really have a good piece though. Guess that's a little longer. Grr! Should I try and might try and do this eye yet? Dang. I really don't think I have enough though. I'm gonna get like 3 stitches in and that's it. Especially since maybe I'll just do should I do a hexagon? You know, that'll look weird like if I have an octagon and a hexagon. I could do the forward stitch then a back stitch. Okay, but even if I get a few stitches in, oh my god, yeah. If I get a few stitches in, I'll the little piece of black that I have left can go the rest of the way. But I'm going to try and do a forward stitch, like a back stitch, then the forward stitch that kind of preserves the thread a little bit more. It's a little bit more annoying to do, but this is a forward. We do our little back stitch. I am doing the octagon again, just to like stay consistent. It would be so nice if I didn't have to get more floss for like 1 stitch. God, it'd be close though. Forward. Back. We're gonna have to weave in with the eye of the needle. Ah. I didn't forget the eye though. That'd have been a bummer. Forward. Okay, we're doing it. We're forcing thread chicken here. All right, there we go. And I think I'll weave in down here. It'll be a bit easier. 1. Ooh, I can make it back the other way. 2. Ooh, I'm losing my floss though. 3rd pass is gonna have to be with the eye of the needle. I don't have enough room to turn around again, so we'll go back through the eye of the needle instead. There we go. We did it! Yay! Arlene says it doesn't get any closer than that, that's for sure. Little itty bitty bit left. Perfect. Okay. And technically that might be it for black if we do different colors for the tail, which I do think would be kind of fun. But I think now let's just work on some backstitch for the rest of this. And actually, let me see if there's any of this dark gray in our floof here. It looks like this might be that dark gray. Oh, it looks like it's just 2 strands though, so we must have been doing satin stitch with it. Yeah, so forget it, it can stay in there. I'll use it for satin stitch later. I want 3 strands for these outlines. Oop. I'm loving this strawberry tray for this project. I love that I can just have this project on it, and I mean, I've just been grabbing it when we start this project, and everything's just ready there for me. And it's just so cute. I love it. Okay, let's get our 3 strands out of here. 1. Ooh, yeah, there we go. grab anything. There we go. All right, we're set. Kind of have an idea of a plan of where I want to go with this. Like mapping out my plan. I think I want to start with, ooh, maybe I should go, that's about the same difference. I think I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go to here, and then I might as well get this foot in right away, and that'll get me to here, and then I can just do this little jump to get this tiny little bit here, and then I think I'll have to go through the backs of these stitches, and then I can end up here, and then I'm kind of like in a good spot to do the rest of it. But I have like these stitches that I can weave into, so that's handy. I think that's a good path. I'm doing it. One. Two. Three. Okay. There we are. And let's just start our little back stitch. I like on this that we did back stitch and the chain stitch here, because the chain stitch is like at least twice as fat as a back stitch, because you know there's the two threads are next to each other because you're making that like loop. So there's two threads, so it's just a lot thicker, so it puts a lot of emphasis on the mask there, which I think is kind of fun. So again, this was blue in the original design, which is cute. Like it would have been fun to do this like a fun color, but I'm seeing what I have left in my spools as far as colors go, and trying to use up some of what we got here yet. But I do like, you know, that we can play with the tail a little bit, have some fun colors there. All right, so then that got us up to here. Last stitch kind of getting us just in the right position for this leg. So it's kind of goofy to like stitch half a face and then a leg, but it seems like it's just gonna work out. Okay, that guy's getting annoying. Nip. Okay, I got another question for everyone. So we were in the car for like, you know, 13 hours over this weekend or whatever, right? Driving to visit my brother and sister-in-law. And now, and like, it's just like my tailbone just hurts so much. Like, it's hard to move and stuff when we get back, always. And it's just exhausting. And now, of course, I'm immediately being advertised like, those like chair cushions that almost have like you know, that are curved for your butt, and then it has like a whole area kind of open so that your tailbone doesn't have any pressure on it. And I totally want one. Does anyone else have like an ergonomic pillow like that. Just like the car that we have just has the worst seats. So I don't know. I don't like it. But now I want to get one of those chairs. Not chairs, but like little pillows. But I want to know if it works well for like long car rides. So I think that's like mostly why I get so fatigued from like long car rides is just how uncomfortable I am. With the seat really. All right, I'm going in the backs of these stitches to just get myself up to that ear so I'm not like cutting across the eye. And I don't know, I guess let's start with the ear. Oh, Arlene, that's sweet. Arlene says you make learning the mechanics of embroidery so much more fun with all the deviations and manipulations to get there. So enjoyable. Oh, that's nice. That's sweet. Yeah, if I don't know the why or how of it, then I don't learn very well. I don't like just doing it because it says to do it that way. I want to know like why it looks like that. Oh, we could do long and Amy says maybe do long and short stitch on the tail instead of sand. That'd be cute too. Yeah, I'm leaving that decision for tomorrow. That's too much thinking for tonight because we're not gonna get that far. When I did get that ad for that pillow, though, I did on purpose click on the ad because I wanted it to keep advertising it to me because I want to remember that I want to consider like looking more in depth for one of those ergonomic pillows. But now I'm getting blasted with ads, which was the intention, but still, it's just silly. Sometimes I on purpose click on an ad just because I want to be like retargeted later, which is silly. They look huge though, some of them. Like, how am I supposed to get that like in the car? But I don't know. They say you can use it in the car. Oh, interesting. SoPad has a gel support for quilters who sit in a chair for a long period of time. Ooh, gel. Yeah, I guess I don't even know what's in this one that I was looking at. And I wasn't looking at anything really in depth. I probably just, I don't know. I don't know what I'll look for, but I'll check that out. It's specifically freaking tailbone. And that's why I liked these ones that I saw, because there's the it's completely cut out where the tailbone would be. So the tailbone would just like rest on nothing, which would be nice. What sucks is that the chair, the chair has a dip in it, right? Like the seat, like of the car. I can't really do it, but and then the back of the chair. But when you tilt the chair back, there's a teeny bit of a straight little area before the chair does its dip down. So that tiny little bit is enough that my tailbone like rests on it, right? Which sucks because I can't get my butt up on there because it's like this big, but my tailbone can't go out further because then I'm like all really scrunched up. So I don't know, it's not fun. So this pillow would kind of do the job. Ooh, thanks, Adrian. I'll check that out. I'll click that link when I'm done here. Amy says you must put a bunch of miles on the car. Well, just like when visiting my parents and and visiting my brother and his my sister-in-law, they're like maybe 2 extra hours compared to visiting my parents, or an hour and a half more. And yeah, it's about 2 hours more than I want to be in a car, and 4 hours, I suppose, more than I want to be in the car for visiting them. And it's just that stupid tailbone thing. And I do have like a little mini blow up pillow that I threw in the car that I got for camping or something a zillion years ago. I'm like, oh, this is what we'll use in the car for that. And I remembered it and I used it, and that didn't really help at all because again, my tailbone was being like pushed up by like the air in there, so it was not fun. Oh, the gel conforms to whatever seat you have. Okay, well, I like that. I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, it's that tailbone like space that I feel like I need. All right, I am going to, I think, stitch tonight till I'm done with this thread. Hopefully I can get all the way over here, but if not, that's fine because I can just start here. And then maybe we'll prep the second half of this, but then I think we'll call it a night. And I don't know, I think that's pretty good getting all that chain stitch done tonight. Ooh, just like 2 more stitches. Get it with this? It must be able to. We'll do a back and then a forward stitch. That'll take care of it. Back and forward. It'll be easier to tuck up underneath those chain stitches. All right, there will be. Let's just weave up through these stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That looks good. I kind of like the gray. It's fun. All right, so there we are for the night. Let's just, I'm gonna just thread the needle here, and then, yeah, why don't we just weave in this end right away, and then we can just start right away tomorrow. I think I'm gonna get it so I start here, then we can go boop, boop, and then I'll be right in this spot, and then we can get the whole, like, rest of this path, which seems straightforward. So I am gonna be doing, like, the backstitch outlines next to whatever fill stitch we do here, which usually I wouldn't do. I like doing the fill stitches first, but we had actually talked about that on like Thursday or something, didn't we? Like that I was seeing more people lately in embroidery land like stitch the outlines first before filling in the space, which I hadn't really seen before. So I was kind of curious, like in my head that would just make it more difficult, but maybe not. So we'll give it a try. I mean, it's fun to see the outlines right away because it feels like you get a lot done. So there's a win from that standpoint. All right. We're gonna go right there. Ooh, we're a little twisty though. Let's let that untwist a hair. Okay. Get it on the needle minder, and we will let it sit there tonight. But getting the face done, or I mean, you know, I guess we didn't get like the nose and stuff done, but getting it pretty much done, that feels like a great start for today. So, all right, everyone. So, thank you again for hanging out with me here tonight. I will definitely check that seat. I need it. And, you know, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, I could have it at this chair here. And I could have it like when I sit on the couch, I could just like carry it with me, which is crazy. But hey, you do what you gotta do, I suppose. So, all right, I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Again, I'll leave it open for another 15 minutes or so if you want to get in on the live special, which is order $20 or more in the shop, and I'll throw in a free mystery gift. So thanks again, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Good night.